Taterskin and the Eco Defenders, Chapter 48. Once all of us animals had been reduced to fingernail size, the Xenia Zephyr and the Fast Forward and Back were started up by their respective pilots, namely Albert Spartacus Jode and Eco Defender Warble McGorkle. Albert was also an Eco Defender, but did not apply that nickname to himself. The engines of the time and space travel vehicles hummed to life in unison. They don't roar to life because they're electric. Rory and his fellow lions did roar a little, though, an expression of their exuberance and exultation, as well as expectation of jubilation on the horizon. Warble loved the sound of the two engines in stereo. "It's poetry in motion," he cried out, rather illogically, actually, and set the destination to 5 Dunes, Botswana. Albert smiled, shook his head, still finding the dramatic change in Warble difficult to wrap his brain around, and entered the same destination in the Zephyr. The date, 1885, remained the same as it had been for both vehicles. The two vehicles flew in tandem, remaining practically wingtip to wingtip the whole way. Just to make conversation during the trip and to try to get a beat on how she was feeling, I turned around in my seat and asked the orange tabby, "How did you enjoy your coaching experience with the leopards and cheetahs and tigers, Marmalade?" "I liked it all except the algebra and the constant dodging," she replied. "The algebra hurt my head, and the constant dodging out of the way of the cheetahs made my feet sore." She then spread out her toes as wide as she could and began licking between them assiduously. It looked like this self-grooming or self-medicating was going to go on for quite some time, so I turned back around and resumed my conversation with Rovette. As we entered the Kalahari Desert and saw lions, giraffes, wildebeests, cheetahs, and many other animals below us, we descended as far as we dared, just above the tops of the highest sand dunes, and we animals yelled out to our brethren to follow us, "5 Dunes, be there or be square." Chumbawamba continued to trumpet this message forth, wanting as many representatives of animaldom as possible to be on hand to see him and his sister, and all the other crew members show the poachers a thing or two. Without understanding why she was doing it, Terry screeched out, "After a while, crocodile," as she saw a float of crocodilianae basking on the shore of a lake near Waraha. We animals were in high spirits when we landed at 5 Dunes that night. Thinking of the excitement that would accompany the dawn of the next day, we found it hard to go to sleep that night.